Hi, and welcome to the Common Ego community. Here we talk about the connection between emotional abuse and spirituality. And there's definitely a connection. So today we're going to talk about the number one thing that you should never do when you realize you're dealing with a narcissist. Now, I have to apologize because that's a little bit of a clickbaity title, because there are a lot of things you should never do when dealing with a narcissist. And one of the big ones you probably already know, so we're not going to cover that. One of the big things is you should not give yourself to a narcissist. You really should go no contact, or what they call gray rock, which is not giving them any information about you, anything really, any emotion, gray rock, or no contact, right? So you probably already know that. Most of this audience is filled with people who they already realize that they're with an emotional abuser and they're already taking steps to get out. Maybe you are already fully out. So the number one thing I want to talk about today that you should never do when you suspect you're dealing with a narcissist is, drumroll, diagnose them. It's so tempting to want to put everyone in a box, to say, okay, well, this relationship didn't work out because that person is a narcissist, right? But there are a few reasons why you should never really take it to that level of actually trying to confirm your belief that this person is a narcissist. And I say that kind of, it may almost seem ironic, because a lot of the things we talk about are about narcissistic abuse and what to do once you've realized you've been with a narcissist. And that's because the term is so common these days that people understand it. People understand what it's about. When you can just say narcissist or narcissistic abuse, and you know exactly what the type of abuse that somebody's talking about. But you have to be careful with labeling people. Here's why. So number one, and this one's gonna surprise you, you could be wrong. To be honest, diagnosing narcissism is probably not as easy as you think. And if you're not a professional, you're really not qualified to make that judgment. You may know that somebody exhibits very narcissistic personality traits, and you can understand for certain, without a shadow of a doubt, that you do not want that person in your life. But to openly say that somebody who hasn't been diagnosed is a narcissist, or what you really mean is somebody with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, it's just a little bit dangerous, and I would advise against it. You can know in your heart that you've experienced emotional abuse, and you can know that that person is extremely narcissistic, but to call them a narcissist is publicly, openly, is not really advised. Okay, so number two, another reason why you should avoid diagnosing somebody who you think may be a narcissist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So this is a trap that I fell into when I started researching all of this about emotional abuse and narcissism. I needed to know, is this person I'm dealing with, is this person a narcissist? I need to know, and you just get so wrapped up in that. But here's the thing about narcissism. It's a spectrum. Right? So some are worse than others. Some exhibit these characteristics more strongly than others. And what you'll find is there's a lot of sweeping statements out there about what a narcissist is like. In many ways, narcissists are completely unoriginal. The cycles of abuse, the love bombing, the devaluing, discarding, hoovering and rinse and repeat, right? That's completely unoriginal. So many of them do it, but there are nuances to it that you could get caught up in trying to figure out, well, okay, well, this person doesn't do this. That's so common for narcissists. So maybe this person isn't a narcissist. Maybe I should give this person another chance. Or maybe let me just try to figure it out and not make any rash decisions, you know. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Excuse me. It doesn't matter whether that person is or is not a person who has narcissistic personality disorder. Because if they have emotionally abused you, that's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. And researching, learning about narcissism may help you. And I'm not saying don't do it, but all I'm advising is that you don't get caught up in that label, in that disorder, because in reality it could be something else, you know. But it doesn't matter, you know. There are other cluster B personalities that, you know, they engage in very similar patterns of emotional abuse. So and you know, you can get lost in trying to diagnose somebody, trying to figure out, are they borderline, are they narcissistic, are they both, you know. And they could be a combination of things. Mental and emotional health, it's a very complex thing, and unless you're really qualified to make that diagnosis, I think, in my opinion, it's very dangerous for you to go down that rabbit hole, because you could end up coming to conclusions that do not serve you. And really, ultimately, all you need to know is if you are a victim or a target. I don't like the word victim. If you are a target of emotional abuse, that's all you need to know. And if you were, then it's about trying to figure out how to get yourself out of it and how to learn from it and grow from there. And that leads me to the final reason why I think it's dangerous for anyone to try to, anyone who's not qualified, to try to diagnose somebody in their lives with NPD. And that's because you're putting your focus on the wrong person. And this is going to be an unpopular statement, I know, because you've just been through this person who exhibits so many narcissistic qualities and has emotionally abused you without question, right? You want to focus, they're the ones who did all this, so you want to focus on that. You want to focus on this person, but that focus does not serve you. The only thing that will serve you is focusing on yourself. And you need to start digging deeper into how you got into this, why you stayed in the early stages. You know, what if there were any red flags? You have to start thinking about what in you attracted you to this person. And if there was anything off, especially in the early stages, if there's anything at all that was off and you overlooked it, why did you do that? And those are the questions that in the wake of emotional abuse that we need to get to. We may first need to just wallow in our anger. You know, it's natural, it's normal. We shouldn't judge ourselves for feeling angry, but at some point we have to turn that lens around and look at ourselves. Well, what you may think, what made this person that way? Think about all the questions you're asking yourself about the narcissist, right? Or the narcissist, the emotional abuser. Think about all those questions that you're asking about him or her, and turn them around on you. Why did you do, X, Y, Z? Those are the questions, those are the tough questions, because you didn't ask for this. You could use the word victim. I like to use the word target instead, but it's hard to think that way about yourself, but it's so, so important when you're ready, because there are so many lessons. I've been through this. Everything that I talk about, I'm talking about from experience. So when I say it's dangerous to diagnose somebody who you think has NPD, it's because I've found the danger in my own situation, in my own thought process. I got myself wrapped up in it, and I don't want to see that happen to you. Because really, there's so much work to be done here, right? There's so much that we can learn from this, and we can grow spiritually and just come out so, this sounds cliche, right? But come out so much stronger on the other end. It's to the point where, for me, this is gonna sound crazy to some of you. I know, I get it, I know. But after you do the work, when you really, it's not easy, it's a wild ride, but when you go through it, you may end up thankful for that narcissistic person in your life. There's a very good chance, because the lessons that you learned from this relationship, you probably wouldn't have learned any other way. And it's hard, and it feels unfair, but there are blessings in this. There are definite blessings in this. And it's just about being open enough to see them and to do the work, because there's a lot of digging you have to do to get there. And it's about doing the work and getting yourself there. So that's all I have to say on the topic. I hope I didn't offend anyone too much. I know this is a really touchy subject for people who have been through it. I understand, but I felt it was necessary to talk about. So want to hear more about this type of thing? Subscribe and be sure to hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos. And that's all for now. Talk soon.